everyone. This is Marks again, and I'm joined by another one of the authors of Tales of Monstrosity, Monsters, Myths, and Miscreants. Today we have Francis, and can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, everyone. My name is Francis Fernandez, part-time podcaster and writer, apparently.
All right, well, why don't you tease your story to us?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, my story, I guess, isn't original because a bunch of people did noir in the book.
Well, it's
Which is
original,
pretty
just
funny.
not the only noir story.
That's what I mean. Yeah, in genre, story-wise, hopefully it's unique. It is about a private investigator who is hunting down a bunch of mysterious murders. And though he works with the LAPD, none of them believe that it is a cryptid killer out there doing all of these murders. And I realize I don't know if I can actually say the monster without giving it away. So I'm going to keep the monster a mystery.
It's part of the mystery.
It's part of the mystery, yeah.
Well, do you want to read a little snippet of it?
Sure. This is weird because I've never read anything I've written before, so this will be fun.
It's good practice.
I know, right? All right. So I guess I'll just start with the first couple paragraphs because you're going to get an idea of the kind of story you're into when I read this. But anyway, Los Angeles, where dreams were made and fantasies become reality. This was my city, and I knew it like the back of my hand. Who hadn't heard of this place? The home of movie stars and fast cars and dirty bars and Hedy Lamarr. And then there was me, Hugh Marone Richard, private investigator. No one knew of my exploits, no matter how many cases I had solved, and I preferred it that way. The cops got the glory, and I got the paycheck. As I walked down the dirty streets downtown, my head was on a swivel. I eyeballed a man in a long crocodile leather trench coat that eerily looked like mine, minus the croc skin. He was probably a fellow private investigator, or more likely a flasher. Those were the only two types of idiots I could think of who would wear any kind of coat in the middle of Los Angeles. Then there was the handsome gentleman in a pinstripe suit, hailing a cab. The first thing I noticed was his hair. It looked darker than burnt toast. He was probably an actor or a model who'd rather die than look old. So as you can see, it's a kind of a first person. I guess that's kind of typical of a noir narrative, isn't it?
Yeah, they got a lot of that first person narration.
I don't know if I said it.
Movie ones do.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, cool. I want to ask you this. You may have in your behind the scenes essay and such, but
Sure.
Why noir? Why that genre?
Well, I felt like it was the only thing that would fit with the joke that I told you when you asked me about this project.
Mm-hmm.
You asked me about monsters. I came up with a joke that I thought would work, and it just felt right in a noir kind of murder mystery sort of way because you need a setup to a punchline. And I thought, what's the best way to get to a punchline? Oh, let's tell a story from from the perspective of the detective. So That's what I did.
And what other monsters, from myth and lore do you like? Why?
Well, see, I like the traditional stuff. I'm glad that you made us do something unique and different. Because I would have picked something really boring like a vampire or
Everybody says vampire.
Right? Like because they're so easy, right? Like vampires are everywhere. They're really easy. I probably would have done more like a mummy or a Frankenstein type monster, but I also feel those are fairly typical. And it's mostly because they're typical monsters, but I would have loved to have done kind of like a spin to them. In a story like this, but I'm really glad you said no. We got to go outside of the box. So we did, and that was really cool, and I loved it.
Next time we'll do a vampire one. We'll just do like vampires with no teeth. You're gumming me to death.
Oh, you know, I'm all for it. Whatever you say, Marcus, I'm down. I'm more than happy to do.
All right. Well, thanks so much for taking some time out to talk to everyone. Where can people find you online?
The best place to find me is sinceresarcasm.net. That has access to like my Twitter, my Instagram, all of the things that I do is in that one place, including my podcast, Is This Love Podcast, where I talk about relationships, and in Super Geeked Up as well, where I do improv with another fellow writer, Jeff Burns. So that's a lot of fun. And you're on there too sometimes. So that's cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, goodbye, good night, good morning, whatever time it is.
Oh, I didn't do it. I'm surprised.
Do what? Do what? Sorry.
I thought you were going to ask me to do an impersonation.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me before we go. You do some impressions on the show on Super Geeked Up. Why don't you exit out, say goodbye to everybody doing one of those impressions?
All right. Well, I normally do either a Russian Sean Connery or maybe like a Joker, but I'm going to do one that I don't do very often, which is my which is something I don't get to do very often. But goodbye, everyone, and thanks for listening to our precious show. So there you go.